Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, that's the first showing, and you can view the first showing on your cable television systems throughout Acadiana. And the channels vary anywhere from channel 8 to channel 11, and you know what your channel number is. So in that range is where the Bobby Dupre Show can be found on Thursday mornings, and of course it replays in its entirety on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And that seems to be really, really popular. And most of these people are a little bit older, and they're younger and they're working on Thursday morning and they get to watch it on Sunday, or they're still in bed on Thursday morning and they want to see it Sunday afternoon. So regardless of how you want, and of course many of you can watch it 24 hours a day after the first showing, because you're watching it on the internet.
People like Lee Halfan. He logs on his computer and watches it on his computer all the time.
Mr. Lee's something else.
Sure is. He called me last week.
I saw him while I was shopping at one of the stores in Opelousas recently, and he said, "That little man of yours, Matt," he says, "Shit, he's good. He knows what he's doing." I said, "Well, I told you that. Just take your time." He's not Andrew, but they have a lot of the same skills when it comes to dealing with the computer systems.
I'm the mechanical computer guy. Yeah, you know, not as much the talkative, like Andrew got the talkative.
I don't know. You're doing very well, and I had to look. I had to kind of twist his arm a little bit. Zone, that's for sure. But you're feeling a lot.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, it's not bad, because we just talk things out over here. That's all. We're not reading script, and we're not having to go exactly 30 seconds on each subject we talk about.
I gave up on that a long time ago with you.
Yeah, because you were back at the window watching it and struggling for me to get off of it. But now you just can, and Andrew was beating my leg like that. You couldn't see that, but he was trying to let me know. And once you get started in something, it's hard to stop it.
Yeah.
Hard to stop it, because we try to do it when you're speaking well about subject matters. It can go on and on. Now, when you get into some of these categories that these other television personalities get into, that's when, if you look out the back, somewheres in the back, they've got a bodyguard, or a few bodyguards, and an attorney or two following them. We don't have that, but we just like to joke about that, because we try to bring you nothing but good news.
And there's so much good to talk about.
And let's get a couple of our good sponsors to start off the program.
Let's talk about our good friends over at Quarters Casino on the north side of Opelousas up there.
Exit 23.
Exit 23. Look at you. You know the exit number.
Oh, yeah. And our tourists, Santa Ana Parish tourists, is across the interstate from there.
That's right. You can give Quarters a call at 948-1946 if you want to get some more information about them. But good Chevron fuel. It's very well lit, very nice parking lot. It's a great stop if you're on your way up towards Alexandria. Stop in for some Hunt Brothers Pizza. It's actually really good. I've had that pizza there.
We tape on Wednesdays, and I'll probably be going up to Vols Parish this afternoon.
There you go.
And I'm going to be in my diesel pick-em-up truck, my dually.
Stop there and tank up.
And I'm going to tank up and hopefully maybe see some of the management team there.
Yeah, there you go.
Pat Willis and company.
And check out El Pico de Gallo, authentic Mexican restaurant, while you're there also. And let's talk about St. Landry Homestead, Federal Savings Bank, Opelousas, Eunice, Port Barry.
Where'd you see
I saw Kip 2 weekends ago at Lakeview. He and his wife stopped in, and we were playing over at Lakeview Campground, and Kip stopped in and had a good time.
You know, this Lakeview Campground must be getting popular.
It's very nice.
This Friday night, that's going to be like the pre-opening of the worldwide championship, Crawfish Etouffee Championship.
That was another thing I wanted to mention.
Friday night is going to be, yep, that's correct. Friday night is going to be the kind of like the opening, and it's going to be at the Lakeview, and Gino Delafosse and his band is playing, well, you know, that's going to be a packed house.
Gino draws a crowd.
Draws a crowd.
Absolutely.
And not that y'all don't draw a crowd. Y'all are starting to have a good name recognition.
We had a packed house.
Packed
Absolutely.
house. Well, that's good. Then that means they'll be able to use you again. You see that? You just bought yourself for another time out there. But anyhow, the Crawfish Etouffee, it's way up in the 20-something year, 20th-something year. And I went to it several times years ago, and a lot of fun, music and food, and just meeting friends that are going there to pass a good time. Like we Cajuns say, pass a good time.
Pass a good time. We had them on our What's Cooking show this week, promoting the Crawfish Etouffee cook-off, or contest is what they call it. And Barry Swallow was on, and Willie Bergeron was on, and they cooked the Crawfish Etouffee in the studio here yesterday, and it was wonderful.
They did that last year, if I recall correctly.
They
I saw that,
and
promote it. Well,
they
good.
Come on every year.
Good.
But let's get back to St. Leonard Homestead. And I want to tell you, of course, you know, personal banking, business banking, e-banking. That's something you don't do, but I do. The e-banking. You like to sit down with a personal banker and do your business. So you can do that at St. Leonard Homestead. But if you're like me and you like to do all your stuff from your iPhone and your iPad, they've got all that for you also. So go see them for a loan. Anything you can possibly need financially, St. Leonard Homestead can take care of you. You'll find them in Opelousas, Eunice, Port Barry, and visit them online at www.stlandryhomestead.com.
What about my glasses? You notice I'm using a different pair of glasses today?
I was wondering about those glasses.
Well, let me tell you the story, then.
I know who you
real
look
quick.
like.
Well, I don't look like.
No.
Who do I look like?
I know who you're trying to look like.
No, I'm not trying to look like this pretty little blonde girl. Christina Hamilton started a fad last year at the ladies' softball games at UL. She's the pitcher, and many of the fans caught on to her black rim glasses, and they took the glasses out of it, just the frames. Well, I'm going to use mine. Mine don't just pop in and out.
Yours are purposeful.
Well, they're under the $10 range. They're in the throwaway bracket, but I don't throw things away too easily. And I'm glad I kept these, because I wore these last year in honor of the girl, to show that the community appreciates people like herself that work hard. I mean, these young girls that pitch, they'll pitch 3 games in a row on a weekend, where the men, if they go 5 innings, they worn out. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, yeah, if you have pitch limitations in baseball, I don't know about softball, but I'm sure they have some sort of limitation.
The limitation right here is how many innings you can pitch. Well, that's what it looks like. They talk about 2 and 3 games on the weekend. But anyhow, Christina and the Raging Cajun women's softball team, good luck to you all. You all represent our community very, very well and very professional.
Absolutely.
And the men's,
with
baseball
team
Coach Robichaud, and then the football, they're in spring practice right now, and that big dilemma is quarterback. You know, they lost that quarterback. Right. He graduated, and they're out there searching, and they've got 3 or 4 real competent replacements, it appears.
Oh, they're going to be fine.
And hopefully they can be. And now they're already talking about, will UL Raging Cajuns go for the 5th New Orleans Bowl? I've been to the first 4, so if y'all go again, you can sign me up. I'm going again. But anyhow, we having fun this morning. I think it's that cool weather outside.
That's nice.
I woke up today and walked outside in the yard real briefly, because I was hustling to get here to do the program. It takes us a little while, but you're coming along real good.
I'm learning.
Well, it's not that. You see, he handles, you don't see what he's having to handle right here, but he works what he used to do in the back of that glass over there, he's actually doing it right here, and talking and enjoying the program at the same time. Anyhow, Eunice Etouffee, we've got that. Let's go to the Chamber of Commerce banquet, which was held this past Thursday night. And the first thing I want to do is I want to apologize to all the winners of the contest, because I really didn't get the pictures that I was supposed to get, and it's my fault. Paula Martinez Mills, who's the incoming president, incoming president of the chamber this year, had someone taking all the pictures, and I know the little lady, and I can't think of her name. I'm sorry, sugar, but Paula was going to let me go and take pictures for this. And I don't know what I do all day, but I work until late at night. Last night I came in, it must have been 8:30. I had a meeting yesterday morning with Gulf States Life Insurance, my little life company. You have to have 4 meetings per year, at least 4 quarterly meetings per year. And then after that, all day I had things around the office. Then last night I attended the little chapel service at Evangeline Downs. The backside is buzzing again. Racing will begin on April the 8th, and big meet planned for Evangeline Downs. I've got my seat, so those of you that have been using those and coming and pass a good time for a night out, I have the same area, at least since they opened Evangeline Downs in Opelousas. And anyhow, it should be some good racing. And where am I? Chamber of Commerce, Citizen of the Year. Boy, a good guy got that. Happens to be my nephew, but I can brag on him because nobody will question what I just said. He's been like that since he was a young boy in high school, and went on to USL back in those days, and was a super football player. If he'd had some knees, he'd have probably gone on to the pros. Yeah. And he had a little knee problem. And God works funny ways. He ends up becoming a medical doctor. And the next day after he graduated from LSU Medical School, a real college, certificate and everything else, he bought a certificate to operate Dupre Transport, which is now Dupre Logistics. And I guess they have 1,000+ workers throughout the South. Those trucks are running up and down all over.
I see them all over.
But that's given that's given what he's done as a company person. But what he's done to give back to the community is much greater than that, because he was one of the real spark plugs, putting up the money, working hard to begin Westminster Academy, the school of Westminster.
He was a big supporter of Westminster.
Big supporter. He didn't tell me that. Reggie would never say that. That's people that were also participating in this movement to get this school, which is strong, well respected throughout Acadiana, throughout the state. Then he's had other projects, but his next big project is Hope for Opelousas, where he has about 75 young students that needed some help tutoring in the afternoons after school. They take them on trips, they take them out into the Rockies, they take them to Saints ball games, LSU, things that this group of kids probably would not have the opportunity if it was not for someone with a vision and spending his money, and us and others like myself who donate to it. He doesn't pay the whole thing. It's not the purpose of something like that. But he spearheads it. And Reggie, we love you, and he was named the Citizen of the Year.
And you know, the Hope for Opelousas was actually featured this month at the Upper Lafayette Economic Development meeting. The luncheon
that you went to tape.
Yep, that was last Wednesday, right after the show. They talked about Reggie and Hope for Opelousas.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. That's what I said. This young man is unbelievable. But then the other recipients are also unbelievable in their own way. Dory. Janice, she was Chamber Person of the Year, and Lavanya Malvo, person I've known for many years, Woman of Excellence Award.
It's about time she got that.
And then Reggie, of course, Citizen of the Year, and of course Miss Lejeune was doing the presentation, as well as Paula Martinez Mills.
And there's a couple of pictures from there.
Yeah.
You got a few of them.
I took a few, but and then I took from the Daily World. Those I took myself. Melanie, she presented awards. And
there's Livonia.
And then Don, I think it's Don Johnson, he has the tire repair shop, Don's Tire and Auto Repair Shop on, that would be West Vine, when you're coming in from, say, Lawtell,
Right.
Eunice, on the left-hand side before you get to the first red light. When you get to the red light on the left there, that was Dwayne Leger, and of course Dwayne died and the business was sold. And apparently this young man is doing a wonderful job.
That's
and I
a nice
want to go
place.
give him some business.
Sure.
To show our appreciation. And it's time to take a 1-minute break. He's pinching me right here. If you see me pull down like that.
I got to pinch him on the leg.
Yep, but anyhow, we have a lot more good things to bring to you. And just stay tuned. Get yourself another cup of coffee or a good Coke or whatever gets you moving. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. And of course, hopefully you enjoyed the first quarter. We do it by quarters in case this is your first viewing of the Bobby Dupre Show. And we do it in 4 quarters. And boy, when we get to that last one, we just like the football players or the basketball players or any sports.
Gotta fit it in.
NASCAR, the last 50 laps.
Well, we don't get timeouts, so.
But no. Anyhow, just hang on tight. We'll give you a couple of our good sponsors who make all of this possible each and every week.
Let's talk about LHC Group, the Louisiana Healthcare Group, headquartered in Lafayette, but born in
Palmetto, Louisiana.
There you go, over a cup of coffee, like you.
Yep, I like to say it. A Saturday morning cup of coffee, and that's a true story.
LHC Group is, of course, they live by their motto. It's all about helping people, and they are just all over the healthcare industry, providing professionals, nursing professionals, providing end-of-life palliative care, long-term acute care, home health. They just touch every area of the medical field, and it's just an absolutely wonderful
Over 30
company.
states. They're publicly
huge.
traded companies, so gives you an idea of the stringent reporting system that they have to. When you're on the stock market, let me tell you, you have to follow some real strict Better Business Bureau regulations if you're going to stay there and be traded worldwide.
But they rank in the top of the nation. They're really that well thought of nationally. So LHC Group, visit them online at lhcgroup.com and see what they can do for you.
What about Dixie Storage?
Dixie Storage. Let's move on to Dixie
Mr. Joey
Storage.
Doucette, General Manager.
Yeah.
Married to Bridget, who is Randolph McCormick's daughter, you know. You maybe didn't know that.
No, I did not know that.
There's a few things I know I haven't taught you yet, but if you hang around long enough, do like I taught Andrew. Andrew thinks he knows enough now, so he's going into a new area so he can learn some new things. But just joking, everybody. These guys are so much ahead of me. Well, on technology. We'll stop it there.
There you go.
We'll
there
stop
you
it
go.
there.
Yeah, I'd never...
Tell us a little bit about Dixie Storage. Mr. Randolph McCormick started this company back in, I think, 1946.
1946, that's right. And they've expanded. They're the largest public and contract storage facility, trucking outfit, real estate company, and sign shop around. And they've got a multitude of companies, actually. They've got Dixie Storage with all your storage needs, small, large, commercial, rail spur, everything you can ask for in storage. They've got Dixie One Trucking. They've got McCormick Realty. They've got Dixie Signs. They've got A Plus Glass. So a one-stop shop for
a lot of things.
A lot of things. Absolutely. So see them over at Dixie Storage. You know, of course, any kind of storage you need, be it commercial, be it personal, be it, you know, you just had a relative pass away and you need to get the estate put in a certain area until you have an estate sale, they can help you out. They have several locations, Port Barre, Opelousas, and Washington. Give them a call at 585-4553 or just go to their website, www.dixiestorage.com.
Okay, when we were talking about the Chamber Awards, I did the Entrepreneurial Excellence was Don's Car Care and Tire Center, which I mentioned. And the Community Enhancement Award went to Washington State Bank. And the Chamber Person of the Year is Dory Janice.
Mm-hmm.
So back when it's kind of interesting. We just talked about Mr. Randolph McCormick opening up in doing business in Annapolis in 1946 when he was passing through town. He liked the atmosphere that he found at a parade or something that was going on, and he says, I'm going to make my living here. And he did well. And back in 1946, the first Citizens of the Year with the Chamber began, and in 1946 they chose Mr. Alan DeZosh as the first recipient. Back in 1970, Lillian Boudier, who worked with the Daily World, and Ted Griffin, who was a school educator all his life. Back in 1980 was Dr. Sidney J. Rosal. And in 1990, and I'm just skipping just to give you an idea, you might know some of these people.
You can't forget Wayne Gilmore. He's on there too.
Oh yeah, Mr. Wayne. Mr. Wayne Gilmore was 1965. Back in 1990 was Nell Shad. That was Mr. Shad with Luana.
That's right.
That was his wife. Year 2000 was Isabel Posner, Dr. Posner's beautiful wife. And year 2015, of course, is Reggie Dupre. So gives you an idea. That was all published in the Daily World recently. You might want to keep that for when you're going to write your book, like I'm going to write my book one day. I'll have all of the material I need. Now, where are we going? You've done your two shows.
I've got my two right there.
Let's go to some obituaries, since I have a number of obituaries with the pictures and all. Would you get that for me, please?
Sure. I've got them queued up right here and ready to go.
All right. We just got one today. It was sent in to us, which is real neat. We got this from the Vietars, someone in the family. Mr. Joseph, better known as Paul within the family, Viator, New Iberia, Louisiana. He was age 71. He passed away peacefully at his home. And the story goes that I met him, and I remember this. He's not a big man, but real friendly, and I took a picture. And about a year ago, they say, at Shucks in Abbeville. And I remember him very well. I don't remember when it was, but I do remember it. I'm glad y'all sent it. And there's something else that's, of course, dear to my heart, was that he was a Louisiana State High School boxing champion. He was a state Golden Glove champion for 3 years. He was Mid-South champion for 3 years, and also a Navy boxing champion. So amongst all the other activities, civic-wise and work-wise, that he participated in, look at that beautiful smile. And that's what I remembered of him. He was with his wife having dinner at Shucks, one of my favorites in Abbeville.
Sound like he was one hell of a boxer.
Thank you very much. Another one that I just saw today in the newspaper, he died a few days back. He died, services were held Monday, March the 16th, it says here, for Joseph, better known as Junior Prejean. And recently, he had a son that died. And let's see what his name, we talked about that, Donald Ray, death by his son, Donald Ray Prejean. So, and of course, he's survived by his wife of 65 years, Miss June, and his daughter, Sandra. And that's about it. He had a son and a daughter, and the son died recently. We talked about him, and we talked about the black filly that he had racing. One of his main things was in horse racing, he had something little good. I can see her, but anyhow, Lawtell, Louisiana. He ran the Jesse Bertrand Lumber Company for many, many years, very successful. I'm not sure if they were partners or not, but he ran it like it was his own. Mr. Jesse gave him a free rein there. And also was one of the top poker players in the United States for a number of years. He played with the big boys, Las Vegas, Houston, Lafayette. I mean, if there was a big game, he was not a drink or anything. He was sober right through the whole match. And some of them were drinking a little bit, and I imagine they would slip them one more, you know, make them get brave to bet a little bit more. But anyhow, that's a a little side thing that I know, and it talks about that. He was known to be a good gambler and a good person and a good family man. And Miss Sue Broussard, I kept looking at the face, and I knew there was something about this person that I knew at some time during her life. At one time, she was married to Jacob Fakuri. Let's see where I saw that. I know I saw that in here. She's survived now by her husband, Ronnie Broussard. But somewhere's in here, preceded by her spouse, Jacob E. Fakuri, and Jim Gardner. So she's buried a couple of them. But beautiful lady, and someone that I recognized right away. And then Miss Shirley Marie Beau Laverne. I had an opportunity to visit Mr. Carroll and his family earlier this week. That must have been Monday. And Miss Carroll and Miss Shirley used to call me when I was first on the radio program many years ago. They'd call me after a program and say, "Boy, we just had the best." They ran one of the last. If it wasn't the last dairy in St. Landry Parish, it was probably the second to last. Yeah. And they would call me and said, "We had the best milk production today. That our cows love to listen to the Bobby Dupre show." And we had a good little laugh about that with Mr. Carroll and the family, and his son Vaughn. I spoke to him more. He goes back. We knew each other when he was local, and now he's in Arkansas with, but still with Intergy. Intergy is a large company. I said, "By the way, they selling." "No," I said, "that's Clico is selling." And it looks like they're going to be happy with the change. It's a large group, maybe one of these equity groups that is buying Clico, and it should be good because they have other companies of the same nature, so they know what they're doing, the people that are buying it. And I'm sure that the Clico people made sure that it's a good fit, because they have some lifetime, long-term workers with that company, and so I'm certainly pulling for them. So to Miss Laverne, Miss Shirley, my deepest sympathies to the family. And I see where Mr. Griffin, George Griffin Jr., the decorated military young man who was killed in the helicopter crash about 10 days ago. His funeral, the burial took place here in the Lafayette area. And they gave him a real military style going burial locally. The services was held in Hammond, if my memory serves me correct. And another one that just passed away, I'll have to try to go to the funeral home today. I heard about it late yesterday afternoon, and that's Warren Bowe Sr. And of course, Warren was age 77. He's a young boy, a year younger than me. Yeah. And went pretty quick. His health situation got worse rapidly. And I certainly want to offer my deepest sympathies to the sons. I know all three of the boys. And I knew Warren, of course, very well from Ville Platte. And he worked with the LSU Ag Center for many years, well respected, and was a good salesman for a number of years until his death with Century 21. Our Opelousas Century 21. Sure Mustn't forget that. That was some of his last work days were with our Century 21. So
I knew Warren well, and he was always a pleasure to talk to. Always.
Another person who died a few days ago, and I think we have a picture of Miss Maggie Lejeune Trailer, age 77, another 77. Beautiful lady, well known in the Port Barre area. Her husband, who survives her, is a Barney Trailer. The Trailer family, of course, is well known in the Port Barre area. I talked to the brother yesterday and asked him to please pass on my sympathies to Barney. And let's see, we have Now we're going to get to Mr. John Murphy Carrier. We still have time?
Well,
Or we
we'll
just
make
about
time.
We'll take time.
We'll
Okay.
make time.
Mr. John Murphy, I called him Murphy Carrier, from the Lawtell area. I think he was 79. It says it right there, 79. I knew him for many years. He kept the grounds, the property that I still own on Megan Drive, that big lot up front.
Yeah.
And in the back, I've got some more lots that I haven't sold, a few acres I haven't sold. Then it ties into 40 acres that I own next door to that, ties in the back.
Right.
He took care of that. I never worried. Somebody asked me a few years ago, what does a man like that charge you to keep your place up? I've heard you mention that it just gets done, and he comes to the office. I said, you know, I've never asked how much he charges. He brings it. Belinda or whoever's there writes the check. He leaves with his check. I never check his time. If it was out of line, I'm sure I'd have heard. And it's done so well that I wouldn't dare question it at this time. Then he got sick a couple of years ago, and his grandchild, he called me one day. He said, would you mind if I let Brian, my grandchild, cut the grass until I get better and able to do it myself again? Oh, I said, that's fine. He says, I promise you, I'm going to keep an eye on it. Not only did he keep an eye, he stayed there while he cut the grass every time until just before he dies here. And the first person I saw last night when I went to the funeral home to visit with the family members, because I knew a bunch of them. Susie, one of his daughters, worked for our company. And I saw was Brian. So I was glad to see Brian, and I told him a little story about him and how good a job he's doing. He says, well, Papa was made sure that I learned the right way. And just a wonderful man. My sympathies. His wife has been in the nursing home now for about a year and a half. And the last thing he asked the girls and the two sons, he has 6 daughters and 2 sons, big family today. And he asked, you sure y'all taking care of your mama? Did you bring her, they bring her something on a regular basis, something she likes, maybe a sweet or something like that. They said, oh yeah, Daddy, but don't worry, we'll take care of it. Not thinking that he would die that soon. But anyhow, little stories like this, hopefully y'all interested in a real good man. He worked for Louisiana Wholesale Drugs, the big company that operates out of the Sunset Grand Coteau area, right on I-49 service road there. Let's see. We got, that's the end. Okay.
If you've got all your obituaries
I think we got the obituaries. We got one more, but I'll get that one when we come back.
Okay, very good.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick here. I forgot to introduce you in the first half. Boy, you'll only get paid half of the program
That's right.
this week.
Half a zero.
Half a zero. That's, you know, I've been working on a full zero for a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe one day somebody will start paying me. Who knows?
Maybe a raise up to zero.
Give me instead of, no, I want a double zero.
A double zero.
A double zero. Let's get a couple of our good sponsors in right now.
Sure. Let's talk about the Steamboat Warehouse. Steamboat Warehouse in Washington is a great place to take your significant other. Take mama away, like Andrew used to say, get mama away from the smell of her own kitchen. And the Steamboat Warehouse is the place to do that. Incredible atmosphere, incredible ambiance, that's that word you like.
Yep.
And chef owner Jason Hugay will definitely treat you to a one-of-a-kind meal. You can't get, I mean, you can get these dishes at other places, but not like they're prepared at the Steamboat. They're absolutely wonderful. So give them a visit. If you want to check them out before you go, if you haven't been, go to the steamboatwarehouse.com. Steamboatwarehouse.com, that's their website. And they've got pictures of the dishes, a menu you can look at. You can check out the prices. Even have a store on there and a gallery that you can look at. So visit Steamboat Warehouse. Let's also talk about our good friends at Piggly Wiggly. 2 locations in Opelousas and 1 in Simsport. That's you're in that area quite a bit. You ever go to that Simsport store?
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Good business there too. They are the supermarket of that whole area there. They serve a big area there. They do well there.
Sure do, and very, very well-run store, nice and clean, and their meat department is absolutely top-notch, and they claim that. They sell only the best meat. And, you know, this is something I learned about him yesterday that I didn't know. Joey Quibido, who's manager of the South location in Opelousas, told me that all of their crawfish, their Louisiana crawfish, they sell for 1 penny less per pound than they buy it for. So they actually lose money on crawfish. So you know you're getting the best deal. They actually sell their crawfish for a penny less a pound than they buy it.
Because they know they're not going to just buy that.
Absolutely.
It's a good way to bring them in.
You need potatoes, you need this, you need that. But that's a deal. You know you're not going to get crawfish cheaper anywhere else. That tells you that right there, because they're selling it at less than their cost.
And that's Louisiana.
That's Louisiana crawfish. Absolutely.
There is a difference.
I think they're $11.99 a pound right now. So check them out. Go to thepig.com.
But a pound will feed 3 people.
Yeah. I mean, you can make an etouffee with a pound of crawfish, and you got to think about it. It's really it's a cheap dish to make.
It's a cheap dish to make. So
it really is.
And happens to be very delicious at the same time.
Absolutely. Go to thepig.com is their website. Go check them out there. Got all their weekly ads published there for the prices.
That was our second store?
That's our second sponsor.
Our second sponsor. Okay, good.
Now.
Come spend the evening with us at Dark Roux. Dark Roux is a new restaurant. They took over the space that Brick and Spoon was occupying at the time. That is actually Blaine Gilry's son-in-law. His daughter Caitlin is married to Chef Ryan Trahan. And I guess he has a partner. I'm not sure if he's a partner, but he has another chef with him, and that's Corey Bourgeois. And they're going to, it says, come spend the evening with, and they're going to be having the Daily Advertiser and the Lafayette Farmers and Artisans Market of the horse farm want to change that. They're going to have an evening a month for several months in a row. And it's going to be when they're going to give an actual discussion on the products that you're going to be eating that night. Going to be all locally grown, and the owners of the farm where they raised will tell you the type of soil that goes into.
That's a great concept.
Good concept, and I'm glad to see. I happened to speak to Caitlin yesterday. That's Ardell and Blaine Gilry's young daughter. That's married to Chef Ron Trahan. And she called yesterday with another young girl. I didn't get the name, but Blaine had them on the phone, and they're going to send us some material, and they want us to give them a plug on something that's up and coming. I'm not sure what it is. It must not be this, because this is going to be, well, anyhow, maybe it's this. I will be getting something from Caitlin. And let's see, I had something else. Well, we talked about that 45% suspended. Well, we couldn't have had grade hacking. There was no hacking back in our days.
No.
You had to break into the building.
Have to steal the logbook and
them
out.
Well, that happened. I can give you, I'll tell you that on the side. And the statute of limitations has expired, so I can tell you a little bit of what went on back in those days. And then it says, so what does a chef for Tony Sashers really do anyway? That's the title of it. And they got a whole real positive article. And of course, they're speaking about Chef Jude Tozan from Opelousas, another Opelousas boy doing well, coming back to Opelousas in a sense. 3 years ago, he closed the Village Cafe, or he sold his interest in the Village Cafe in River Ranch. He did well. I used to go there myself, and we'd visit. And he married one of the little Hidalgo girls' grandchildren, Gerald and Earlene's granddaughter. And just a real fine young fella. Came to work for Tony's, and he does a different experimenting with different seasonings that they have. They don't just have the Tony's seasoning that you see in the little package. They have all kind of products that they are now doing, and that's his job. And he does it in a in an environment like a home, the article says, not no big commercial. It's a stove like a lot of people have within their house, so that he can do and be able to sustain what he says by actual experimenting. And
I haven't seen their new test kitchen at the new location, but I did see their old test kitchen, and that's basically what it was. It was a home kitchen.
Well, that's what I got from it. So anyhow, Tony Sasser's in their new building, they took over what Home Depot. Can you imagine how big that was?
Well,
and
Tony Sasser's a big operation.
I'm not so sure they didn't add on to the building.
Have.
And had to do some retrofitting. Ooh, that's a big word for a boy from Plaisance, retrofitting, to be able to get all of that equipment that they have to do all of this packaging that they do. So anyhow, no matter where you go, you can, at a grocery store, you're going to find Tony Sasser seasoning.
That is correct.
And another death that I didn't know, Mr. Jasper Ambrose. He was age 96, but he came from a good little community, Plaisance, just like yours truly came from. And I know one of his sons, Mr. Milton Ambrose, who's been in education, and I want to say school board member now on St. Andrew Parish School Board, but I know he's been in education all his life. Our deepest sympathies to that family. The Earl Taylor annual golf tournament is going to be taking place Thursday, April the 9th. That's just a couple of weeks from, what, 3 weeks from now? Or two? Maybe 3.
Yeah,
maybe 3.
2.
2 weeks from now. And that's going to be held as usual. This is the 11th annual at Indian Hills Country Club. So if you like to, it's a good time of the year. It's still cool. Hopefully the weather will be like it is today. Today is a gorgeous day.
Yeah,
yesterday
I could be
afternoon,
playing golf now.
yesterday afternoon, riding. How about riding motorcycle?
Riding motorcycles even better.
Yeah, and yesterday afternoon was just super beautiful. And anyhow, you can go out and help Mr. Earl Taylor and help his contribution. He gives half of this money back to different organizations during the year. And you'll pass a good time. Then the Golden Gloves is coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Hotel Acadiana, downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. Bo Williford is again the director of this program. You'll have teams from throughout, amateur boxing teams from throughout Acadiana. I went to Opelousas Youth Boxing Club on Cherry Street last night, and it was a beautiful afternoon. They were actually practicing outside with these novice boxers. They just, I think they've been into 2 matches, so they'll qualify as novice. And here they are going through, the person that's coaching them right here is with the Opelousas Police Department, Mark Simeon. Of course, he was a very good amateur boxing in his own right. And they have really, I went there when they were just beginning, and then I had a chance to go back last night. I made it my business to be there last night. And these youngsters are really doing well. And this is a group picture of those that basically almost each one of these will be fighting as a novice in Lafayette over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Let's hope they go all the way through Sunday, because that's when the championship bouts are being held. But the main thing I want to bring out right here, these are not kids that are in trouble. These are kids that are coming to a program, and that helps prevent them getting in. They're burning this energy in a good environment. These young men, Coach Lestraps was one of the people in the picture, and Darrell Wheeler, who was a boxer in the Olympics, coaching. I mean, these kids have a great opportunity to learn how to defend themselves and how to be boxers and how to be a good citizen. You've
a lot of important life lessons in boxing.
And you've got to dedicate yourself to it, and you've got to take a beating to give a beating.
Sure, right.
But what you're doing is building up character and good lessons of life. So hopefully they can be well represented. And if you want to see some good amateur boxing, you want to make sure you go to Hotel Acadiana. And the next feature, we want to stop right here.
We can probably take a break right now.
Yeah, take a break. We'll come back and we're going to talk about Air Evac Life Team. This is a new company, Air Med Care Network will be coming to Opelousas, and I'll tell you all about it, and I'll show you some of the people that are in the back of the program and help begin the program at Opelousas General Hospital on the helipad. They have what do they call it? Helicopter pad?
Helicopter pad, yeah. I've taken off from that pad before.
Ooh, I haven't yet. I hope I don't, but
well, no, that was a better situation.
I'm going to be a paid member. Take a break.
We'll be back in 1 minute.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and we're going to be speeding right on through it. And I want to introduce my sidekick again, Mr. Matt LeBlanc.
How you doing?
I want to make sure you get half of that 00 there.
That's right. That's right.
For pay. But anyhow, we got some good, interesting pictures and stories to talk to you about, so stand by.
Sure. Before we do that, though, let's talk about Carl's Thriftway. Make sure you visit Carl's Thriftway over there on South Union in Opelousas for all your pharmaceutical needs. Get your prescriptions filled there. Very excellent, helpful, knowledgeable staff. They'll
call
take care
for 2
of
renewals this morning
there you go.
On the way here.
That's where I get all of mine filled. And while you're there, make sure you check out the gift shop. It is not to be missed. They have some absolutely wonderful items, great for birthdays, anniversaries, any kind of holidays. I'm sure they got a whole bunch of Easter stuff in there right now.
Oh,
so
I'm sure they do.
make sure. A lot of nice religious items, too. So go see them over at Carl's Thrifty in Opelousas. And our good friend Ted Bellard over at Targill Seasoning and Butcher Supplies. Seasoning, butcher supplies, cutlery, kitchen supplies. They're located in Opelousas on Wartell Avenue. And you know Targill from all the seasonings, you know, all the bottled seasonings that you see all around. But also stop into their location and get your cutlery if you need some knives, cutting boards, things like that. Cake baking supplies. They have everything and chef quality stuff inside their showroom right there. So go see them over at Targill. You can visit them online also at www.targill.com.
Okay, on last Thursday night at the awards banquet, Chamber Awards banquets, I met Mark Majors from Melville, who has Med Express throughout St. Landry Parish. And with him he had a young lady by the name of Sandy Netherland Roberts, and she's one of the PR people, knows a lot about the evacuation is what it stands for, program, and they have the nearest office to Opelousas presently would be probably Natchez, Mississippi. And then they have one in Louisiana, North Louisiana, Rayville, Louisiana.
That's the shirt you're wearing right now.
That's the shirt I have on right now, AirVac shirt. They gave me a shirt and gave me a walkthrough of the whole facility in Natchez.
I'll show a couple of pictures of that while you talk.
They're going to hire a salesperson in Opelousas. They're going to have about 4 pilots and 4 techs, med techs, and that's the inside of the helicopter. Look, it's all kind of tight, but it's well prepared. They can do everything while they're in their air except take x-rays. But the other ER procedures that they have in regular land-based ambulances, they have it in this.
Helicopter.
That's correct. And right here, we're looking at the engine. It's a Mercedes-Benz diesel engine, and this firm has been in business. Was started in Missouri 25 years ago. These are the people. Really, Rhonda just showed us all around the place. Gave me the shirts, and we, of course, saw the. Didn't get into it myself, but this is when we got there. We were greeted at the door by let's see, that would be Brett and David, I think is the other, and one of the young men who was out of Rayville, Jeffrey, married a young girl from Avoyes Parish. I think it's Hesmer, Louisiana.
Hesmer.
So Vicky and Jeffrey were able to make some connections there. And he's not from there, but married a little Cajun girl, so he's familiar with it.
There you go.
They have a membership program, and I want to be their first to join, because the whole family is covered for one fee of $65 a year. And of course, when you talk about air, when they transport you by air, very expensive.
Yes.
But it's also very critical, because you having to be basically transferred from wherever hospital you're in, or an accident that takes place on I-49 or somewhere else, and then you need to get to a trauma center. And you want to get to a trauma center as quick as you can, because the faster you get there, the sooner they can start administering and preventing death, I guess.
If you're being transported by air, chances are you're pretty much already in bad shape, and you want the best care that you can possibly
get. The quickest way. And for $65 a year, not a bad investment.
Not a bad investment
and
at all.
The air charges are very expensive, so it might well show you, and I want to take a picture of me signing up when they come. They should be opening the Opelousas branch out of the helicopter will be stationed, as I understand it, on the heliport at Opelousas General Hospital in downtown Opelousas. So they're going to go right there from the hospital to any other place within the range. And they can handle, although it looks small, they can handle a patient up to 400 pounds.
Really?
So that would take care of
Wow.
practically everybody. Could fit into that little plane. And then they've got a tech that's with you, a med tech. I'm not sure the right term, but a skilled technician, medical technician, and then there's a pilot and maybe an assistant pilot. It's well thought of, and it's going to be some good jobs for those of you that qualify for these jobs. It's a 7 and 7. You can work 7 on and 7 off. So anyhow, hopefully some more good paying jobs come into Opelousas with a needed. Then what about the J Fest? You got some pictures on that?
Maybe so.
That's my friend, Mr. Joe Rink's son.
Is that the bikes?
No, right. No. You just pass it on the left. Right down. Yeah, down.
That?
Right there. Right.
Okay. A picture of the flag.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, J Fest, April the 12th at City Park in New Orleans. At the festival grounds, it says, from 12 o'clock noon to 7 p.m. at night. This would be a Sunday, I'm sure. And this Mr. Joe and Miss Patsy Rink's young son, Jay, has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and is really experiencing some tough times, very expensive treatments have to be given, and your insurance and your family money. He's just about 40 years old and got 5 beautiful children you can see in the picture right here, all teenagers or not even teenagers. They live in a kind of an addition that was made to Mr. Joe and Miss Patsy's house in Metairie. The last thing that goes, the last thing that you can use is your eyes. So some of the equipment within the house is being retrofitted so that he can operate it by, like, your television, your blinds in your room to get daylight and everything. He can do all of that with eyesight.
Wow.
A lot of things can be done. The tech is unbelievable, but all of this is expensive.
Yes.
So I've already mailed my check in. This will be my, I think, 4th event that I've participated in. Don't know that I can go to it. But my money's there to help that family. And Mr. Joe's wonderful. They own a house across the street from, say, Kerrville Toyota. Would probably be on the left hand across the highway.
Okay.
Right next to, maybe they have a trailer sale. Now, Lestrapes would be next to Lestrapes Nursery. They've got a pig in the front, a concrete pig next to the house.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Absolutely.
Real nice house.
2-story house.
He and I and groups of friends owned some horses together, and that's how I got to knowing them, and wonderful people.
Sure. Well, you got about 3 minutes left, so I want you to kind of.
What do I have any more pictures? Yeah, I've got motorcycle.
I've
got a couple of. I met at King's Truck Stop. These two men were finishing eating their lunch, and when they passed by, I saw they were dressed with riding motorcycles. I said, "Hey, where you headed? You going to Baton Rouge or New Orleans?" Said, "No, we're going to Los Angeles, California." And I said, "Where'd y'all leave from?" "Oh, we left from right over there in Orlando, Florida." And
I'd love to do that.
Just had a beautiful visit. They belong to the Eagle Rider Motorcycle Rentals. They rented these two motorcycles here. But Paul Smith is on the right, and in this picture here, Paul Smith is on the left, and the gentleman on the right is Steve Feather. And they met on a bike tour and have remained friends. Actually, Paul is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And they made friends in, actually, Steve lives, well, he's got a headquarters but he lives, I think I'm right when I say he lives in Orlando, Florida. Or that's where they started from.
Sure.
It was kind of a quick deal, but two friendly guys. I hope y'all are having time to watch the program, either 7 o'clock Thursday morning, or I told them anytime they're in a hotel room, they can look up on their, I'm sure they have a iPad, cell phones, probably have computers with them. They two fun-loving guys taking a beautiful trip. It reminded me of the trips that Ramp and Ashley and Nick Fakuri took. We had some great experiences, and I'm looking forward to taking some more. Is that about all the pictures?
Well, we got a few more here. Let me go ahead and show you what we got. You got this picture right here of...
That was Mr. Francois.
Yeah.
Francois he took some pictures of Ladrika and Theory and I last week at the Palace, and he came back again on another day, and I asked him to look at the little camera deal.
And he printed them on that.
And it's what, a Canon camera?
A Canon printer.
Canon printer, I mean.
He prints his photos
right there in front of you. So anyhow, Monsieur Francois, you ought to be back at college. You're a university professor of photography.
There you
and
go.
I'm going to call you and surprise you real soon.
Now I'll show a couple of these real quick also. These are some shots, looks like you had around Natchez right there.
Yes, sir. And I have one picture with...
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. That was Sunday morning. Foggy but beautiful.
On the Mississippi.
And the river is going up, guys. I mean, the river is going up. It's scary to think of what could happen to us in South Louisiana. Again, that's
out down there.
Going to the Angola Ferry. You ain't going to get there unless you have a little skiff. And there's the sign. And I'm going to get my prayer out while you run through those. Those are some more features. That's not part of the river. That's part of dry land. That look, the water going through that. It's just going through that. That's a hydroelectric plant, but you never see it that high. I mean, it only when the staging, probably another 3 or 4 foot, and you'd be in the flood zone. They've already opened up some water from the. We're receiving some water from the Mississippi River right now. Don't know a lot about it. We want to remember that. In March the 22nd, 2014, Mr. Johnny Raymond passed away, and on March 10th, 13, Dr. Butch Lazaro, my dear friend, passed away. 2 close ones, and we want to close the program by reminding everybody to please consider attending the church of your choice this weekend. That comes from Matt and I, and a little thought of prayer. My Heavenly Father, you always will what is best for me. Guide me to my own good according to your will. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for telling a friend, and see you next week. Thank you.